There is a moment not at the beginning, but somewhere deep in the middle when the soul feels heavy, the dream feels distant, and the world turns quiet around you. It's the place where most people quit. Not because they're weak, not because they didn't want it badly enough, but because they believed, for just one moment too long, that what they were feeling was the end, not a test. But what if I told you this is the test? That this exact moment when the night is cold, the winds are fierce, and you feel like you're walking alone with no map, no light, no applause, this is not your defeat, it's your forging. This is where iron becomes steel. This is where legends are made, or left behind. See, most people wait for conditions to be perfect. They wait for motivation, for signs, for green lights and friendly skies. But greatness, real greatness, lives in the man or woman who moves when it's dark, who plants their feet in the storm and whispers, "I was built for this," not because they don't feel fear, but because they've learned to walk beside it. Napoleon Hill once said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But you don't get the fruit if you stop watering the seed just because the sun hasn't shown up yet." People think success is a mountaintop. It's not. It's the climb. It's every blistered step, every tear you wiped with a dirty sleeve, every morning you rose when your heart said, "Stay down." It's not what you post on Instagram when you win. It's what you do in silence when no one's watching. That's where the story writes itself. Thomas Edison tried over 10,000 times to invent the light bulb. 10,000. Imagine that. Imagine failing so many times you forget what winning even feels like. But he didn't call them failures. He called them steps. Steps toward the vision he held so clearly in his mind, the world had no choice but to catch up. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. One more step and they would have seen it. The wall was just paper, not concrete. But they turned back. They let pain speak louder than vision. But not you. You didn't come this far to fold. You didn't bleed this long to retreat. You were never meant to be average. You were born to rise. Clarity doesn't come in the comfort zone. Purpose isn't found in the easy path. It's carved in confusion, in heartbreak, in moments when your identity is shattered and all you're left with is truth. What are you willing to suffer for? What would you chase if you knew it would hurt? That's where your dream lives. Let the world doubt you. Let them roll their eyes, call you obsessed, tell you you've changed. That's good. That's how you know you're evolving. Caterpillars don't explain transformation to the cocoon. The butterfly just flies. You are not meant to stay hidden in the soil. You're meant to grow through it, to break through the dirt and bloom. But blooming doesn't feel like blooming at first. It feels like breaking, like suffocating, like dying to what you were, just to become what you must be. Most people quit when it gets hard, but you make that your home. You learn to breathe in difficulty. You turn pain into firewood and build a blaze that refuses to go out. Because deep down, adversity is your teacher. It's not punishing you. It's preparing you. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Anyone can want something, but few will work for it when it's boring, when it's brutal, when it's thankless. The world has no shortage of dreamers. What it lacks is finishers. People who do the work when it's ugly, people who build when the world says rest. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Belief is the soil in which every result grows, and belief doesn't wait for proof. Belief creates it. You don't need guarantees, you need guts. You need to look in the mirror and say, "I may not be there yet, but I am no longer who I was." That's the moment of transformation. When you stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. When you stop asking, "Will they like me?" and start asking, "Will this make me proud of myself?" That's where true power lives, in the silent integrity of the one who chooses growth over comfort. People talk about vision, but vision without responsibility is just a fantasy. The dream is not meant to sit in your journal. It's meant to be dragged into the world with bruised hands and relentless heartbeats. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start walking. The path reveals itself to the one who steps forward, not the one who sits and waits. You'll learn more in motion than you ever will in perfection. And yes, you will fall. You will bleed, but you will rise. Stronger, sharper, smarter. Every person you admire has bled for their dream. Don't let the highlight reels fool you. Behind every triumph is 1,000 nights of doubt. Behind every applause is a season of silence. Behind every crown is a battlefield. You don't get to greatness without first being broken. But broken is not the end, it's the beginning of the rebuild. Keep walking, keep breathing, keep believing. This is the place where most people quit, but this is where you rise. So here you are on the edge, not of failure, but of revelation. The edge is not a signal to turn back. It is your invitation to leap. And no, not everyone will understand. They'll tell you to be realistic, to slow down, to be grateful for what you already have. But the fire inside you wasn't lit to warm the room, it was lit to burn through limits. Do you remember why you started? Before the opinions, before the setbacks, before the doubt crept in like a thief in the night, there was a moment of truth, a whisper, a flash, a knowing that you were meant for something more, that inside you lives a force too big to cage, too fierce to silence. You don't owe the world your surrender. You owe it your rise. The people we remember didn't live easy lives. They lived meaningful ones. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, battled depression, and still carried a nation through its darkest hour. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination, then built a kingdom from a mouse. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Now she defines it. They weren't lucky. They were relentless. They didn't let circumstance define character. They let character redefine circumstance. And so must you. There will be days your feet drag, when progress feels like walking through molasses, when your reflection looks tired, not triumphant. That is not a sign you're failing, it's proof you're forging. Diamonds are made under pressure. Mountains are carved by time. Your greatness is not a spark, it's a slow, roaring burn. And you must feed it daily. With intention, with focus, with the kind of discipline that does not negotiate. Most people want results. Few want the responsibility. But here's the secret. The power is not in the prize. It's in the pursuit. When you wake up and chase your vision without needing applause, when you commit to the process even when it's lonely, unrewarded, invisible, that's when the universe shifts. Because you've proven you're no longer waiting. You're creating. And creation is messy. It doesn't come with instructions. It demands trial and error, wrong turns, ruined drafts, and broken plans. But that is the clay of mastery, the hammer of resilience. And each day you stay in the fire, you are being shaped into someone unstoppable. Your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. Pour it into your health, your habits, your hustle. Don't waste it arguing with doubters or proving yourself to the blind. Let your results speak languages no insult can mute. Let your silence thunder louder than complaint. Your job is not to be perfect. It is to be present, to show up, to lace up your boots and say, "Today I fight." Not with fists, but with faith. Not with noise, but with focus. Clarity does not shout. It whispers to the one who listens. Purpose isn't loud. It's rooted, grounded. It will not entertain your excuses, but it will carry your potential if you trust it. So when the doubt comes, greet it. Smile at it. Let it sit beside you, but never let it drive. Fear may ride in your car, but it doesn't get the wheel. Not anymore. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are the architect of what happens next. And that architecture is built not in one bold move, but in 1,000 quiet decisions. The food you eat, the words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, the promises you keep when no one is looking. Do that long enough, and the world starts to notice. Not because you asked it to, but because consistency is the loudest form of confidence. And when you fall, because you will, don't flinch, fall forward, learn, adjust, rise, smarter. That's the difference between winners and watchers. Winners stumble, but they don't stop. They extract gold from every scrape, every scar, every slammed door. There is no growth without discomfort, and there is no evolution without friction. But friction is not the enemy. It is the proof you are moving. The cocoon trembles before it breaks. The sky darkens before the dawn. You have come too far to surrender now. You didn't fight through nights of tears, loneliness, rejection, and silence just to return to who you used to be. You're not that person anymore. You're not quitting. You're transforming. This is the threshold where most people turn around, but this is your gate to glory. Keep going. You're not lost. You're becoming. And when you're becoming, everything hurts before it heals. The shedding of your old skin will sting. The silence after cutting off what no longer serves you will echo. The discipline to rise without a cheering crowd will weigh on your shoulders like armor. But wear it anyway, because the version of you that can carry that weight, that version is your future. Understand this. The universe does not reward talent alone. It rewards alignment. It rewards those who align their thoughts, their words, their actions, and their beliefs with a higher vision. You don't manifest what you casually want. You manifest what you are obsessively committed to. You draw in what you become. So ask yourself, what are you becoming? Not what are you wishing? Not what are you posting? What are you building? Daily, through discomfort, through doubt, through discipline. Because that's the currency of real success, consistent alignment in the dark, when the dream is still invisible, when it's just you, your heartbeat, and the hunger that won't die. If you listen close, that hunger has a voice, and it's not soft. It's the same voice that spoke to Carnegie when he was just a poor boy sleeping in a single-room shack. It's the same voice that told Harriet Tubman to keep going back no matter how dangerous, because freedom was bigger than fear. It's the voice that whispered to Mandela in a prison cell that his vision was more powerful than the bars. That voice lives in you. But here's the truth. Most won't tell you. You must protect it. The world will try to silence that voice with comfort, with comparison, with poisonous lullabies of mediocrity. Just be realistic. Settle down. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Kill those whispers with action. Drown them out with commitment. You don't need more opinions. You need more hunger, more clarity, more sacred rage against a life half-lived. Because the people you admire, they didn't try. They burned with conviction, with clarity, with a refusal to go back to who they used to be. They were not fearless. They were faithful. Faithful to a future no one else could see, but they could feel. You're not here to repeat the cycle. You're here to break it. You're not here to follow the script. You're here to rewrite it. You're not here to merely survive. You're here to rise, to expand, to become a mirror for others who forgot what fire looked like. And if you're tired, good. That means you're moving. If you're hurting, good. That means you're stretching. If you're afraid, good. That means you're close to something sacred. Don't run from the pain, study it. It's trying to show you something. Pain is not the enemy. Stagnation is. Stagnation is death with a heartbeat. Comfort is the slow assassin of destiny. And every time you trade short-term relief for long-term greatness, you sell a piece of your soul for a shadow. But you are done making deals with doubt. You are done apologizing for wanting more. You are done waiting for permission to begin. You are done watering down your flame to make others comfortable in their dimness. You are the one, the chain breaker, the voice in the storm, the fire in the frost. You want to know why most people quit here? Because this is the valley. The part of the story no one wants to live, but everyone wants to talk about after they've made it out. This is the silence before the symphony. The midnight before the sun explodes across your sky. This is the testing ground of destiny, and only the faithful survive it. You rise by staying. You rise by choosing. You rise by becoming the one who doesn't stop. And when the world says it's over, you say it's beginning, because it is. This is not your breakdown, it's your breakthrough. This is not the end, it's the edge of greatness. This is not where you quit. This is where you rise. So rise. Rise not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Rise because the version of you that remains on the ground is no longer welcome in the place you're heading. Rise because something ancient inside you remembers. You were never built to be average. The world will offer you distraction, addiction, and delay. It will seduce you with comfort and pull you into the gravity of someday. But you were not born for someday. You were born for now, this breath, this battle, this moment. Right here, where most people quit, this is where you're about to awaken. There is a roar inside you. You've silenced it long enough. You were not made to bow to fear. You were not made to shrink in the face of failure. You were made to stand, to speak, to step forward even with knees shaking and heart pounding. You were made to fight for a life that reflects your fire. And no, it won't be perfect. Your path will be jagged. Your victories may be quiet, but your soul will know. You didn't settle. You didn't fold. You didn't become a cautionary tale. You became the fire that lit the way for others. Think of the generations who came before you, the ones who dreamed but couldn't, the ones who tried but were caged by time, by war, by oppression, by lack. You are the answer to their silent prayers. You are the legacy they could only imagine. Don't waste it. Let your existence be the rebellion. Let your life be the loudest yes ever whispered in the face of every no the world threw at you. When people ask where your confidence comes from, tell them it's born from every day you showed up anyway, every day you didn't quit, every time you refused to be erased. Tell them the pressure made you precise. Tell them the pain taught you presence. Tell them you don't need their applause because your purpose is louder. And to those still sitting in the shadows, waiting for the right time, let your life be their call to arms. Let your scars speak. Let your breath be a testimony. You don't need to preach, just rise. The world will feel it. Remember this: resilience is not toughness without emotion. It is softness with roots. It is breaking and blooming. It is grieving and growing. It is holding both fire and tenderness in the same hand and still choosing to move forward. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to pause. But you are not allowed to quit. Quitting is for those who never knew why they began. But you know, you've always known. That whisper, that flame, that ache inside your chest, that's not random. That's you. Before the world told you to sit down. So stand. And when your knees shake, stand again. And when your voice cracks, speak anyway. Because power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's the hand that reaches out when no one else does. Sometimes it's the heartbeat that refuses to go silent. Sometimes it's you, choosing to rise when no one claps, not even yourself. You do not need the world to believe in you first. You need to believe in yourself long enough for the world to catch up. That's how it begins. That's how movements are born. That's how revolutions awaken, not with a shout, but with a choice. The choice to rise. Here, now, in this very moment. Because this is the place where most people quit. But not you. You rise. And you keep rising. Until you look back and see that this place, this silent, brutal, sacred place, was not the end of your story. It was the page where everything changed. So turn it and write the chapter they'll never forget. Because legends are not born in victory. They're born in the fire. And you are fire. Now rise and never look back.